Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sandy Clarkson, and today I'm sharing with you a process video for my creative scrapbook using our January limited edition kit, which features simple stories, simple vintage fresh snow. In the kit we get the papers along with the floral bits and the bits and pieces, and then some of the chipboard stickers, and then lots of other things for our embellishments. I decided that for this layout I would use the cut file because I didn't get an opportunity to do one last month, and so I've already backed that off camera because it takes me a while to do those. I don't use cut files a lot. I hope to use them more, but anyway, with all the wording on that one, it did take me some time to get it cut out. But anyway, the two papers you see me using there, I really love, and I wanted to use them for my first project. And for the cut file, I did use a backing from one of the plaid papers that are in the collection. So here you can just see me prepping the two pieces that I'm using, and I adhered to some white cardstock, so I'd be sure and keep everything square and the format the right size. And then I decided to use the plaid just as some additional decor, and I punched that with just a I think it's a Martha Stewart punch that I had on hand. I don't use punches much anymore, but I just wanted to give this a little extra something, and I thought about just doing paper tearing, but since my other lines were kind of linear, I thought I would go ahead and do this. And then I do distress the edges with some distress ink and vintage photo. And I usually use ink or I use stains. I don't use oxides very much unless I'm doing like a canvas mixed media, or I really want the properties of what oxide will do. Oxides were new during my scrappy career, if you will. And so, I'm very comfortable just using the stains and the inks most of the time, unless I know I'm going to have some kind of wet product on my layout. So there I'm just lining everything up, and I'm going to use 3 photos on this layout, and these are of my granddaughter, and she did a photo shoot in the snow, and she was in Oklahoma when she did this. And anyway, I thought they were really cute, and I was just kind of figuring out there which one I want for the center, and how I'm going to display them. I do adhere my photo mats off camera, and that's just so it's very simple. Everybody knows how to do that. But anyway, I just cut them to size, and did the matting with a similar paper to what I used on the cut file. And then I do adhere, go ahead and distress the edges there with some distress ink. And then I am going to use some corrugated cardboard to put beneath my photos just to elevate them a little bit and provide some dimension. There you can see me playing around with a couple of the 3x4 cutouts to see if I wanted to add any of that in any way. And then, off to the side, I have some of the ephemera that's from the floral bits and the bits and pieces packs, and played around with those for getting something that was the right scale and that kind of thing. I do fuss and fiddle with this quite a bit, getting it just right. And there you can just see I'm trying to trim some more away from the cut file that I noticed was, sticking out and showing. So that's about where I want the title to be, and so I'm going to go ahead and use some art glitter glue to glue everything down, and I'm about to the bottom of that bottle, I think. I do have that thin tip on the end, so it wasn't flowing really well for me. But then, I just want to get it lined up and make sure it's straight. And then I'll use the T-square just to double check myself. And then because there's a combination of font there, you do have to be careful that you're getting everything lined up correctly with both of the fonts. And then on my pictures, I kind of eyeball them, but I do lay the layout on my mixed media mat with the mixed media mat as my guide, if you will. So I'm just going to put the center one in the center, and then I'll put the other two on the two sides. And there I'm using the Beacons 3D glue, just so I can reposition if I need to. And I'm not putting the corrugated cardboard all the way across the photos, just because I want to allow for any tucking if I want to add any bits and pieces. And at this point, I was a little unsure whether I was going to use any three-dimensional flowers or not. I ended up not using any three-dimensional flowers, which is unusual for me because they are my very favorite embellishment. But with the florals on the pattern paper and it being all kind of pine cones, I beg your pardon, and that kind of thing, then I end up being very comfortable with the embellishments just from the packs that came in the kit. So there I am using my T-square again to make sure that those three photos are lined up and pretty linear. And then, I fuss and fidget again a little bit. I know I want to use a pine cluster underneath the photo, and I want something that'll really stand out, but still I want the scale to be, appropriate. And so I finally do settle on one, but I also want to use those floral pieces that you see there. And so I fuss and fiddle with those a little bit, but then I get ready to go ahead and adhere that centerpiece, and I do put some corrugated cardboard behind that as well, so it'll be the same height as that center photo. And I did lower it a little bit than when I was kind of playing with it, just because I wanted to see a little bit more of my photo. And there you can see me looking at the cardstock stickers to see what I might want to add to the page down by the title. And then also looking at the chipboard that's included in the kit. And I do end up using some title pieces from the Cartabella chipboard pack. Those were really nice. And I do kind of start out thinking I'm going to use those little tiny ones at the top, but in the end, they didn't make the final cut, and I ended up particularly using the one that says freezing season. I thought that was really cute. But right there, I'm just auditioning the different things to see what I might want to use. There's a lot of cute options there, depending on what you want to use, whether you want to use some skis or ice skates or just a title, whatever you might want to do. And there I'm really getting ready to decide if I'm going to commit to glue or not. And then I think I'm about ready to put down the freezing season over there. It does kind of cover up some of the snow at the bottom of the photo, but still you can see my granddaughter really well. And there I'm playing with those florals again, and I cut that one in half so I can use it somewhere else. And then I went off camera while I pulled out that pair of mittens, and that's from the cardstock stickers, and I elevated that as well so it would be three-dimensional. And then, of course, I lay down my freezing season over there on the left. And I pulled out some of the snowflakes that are both from the cardstock as well as from the chipboard. And I'm just playing with them there to see how I want to arrange them. I wanted them to be just kind of looking like free-falling snow, but I couldn't get exactly what I wanted, but I ended up being pretty happy with everything in the end. Off camera, I do also add some flat back pearls. I use one up there to dot my eye on the word winter, and then I sprinkle some other ones in that are just kind of pearlescent, and they kind of give that glittery snow effect. I didn't really use any mixed media on this page, other than at the very end I do some acrylic white paint splattering, but other than that I didn't use the stencil or anything like that because I felt like I already had a lot going on with this one, with the plaids and the florals and all that, and then plus multiple photos. I really do love the pattern papers in this Simple Stories collection. They're really pretty, and they make such a wonderful transition from the Christmas, Hanukkah holidays into the first part of winter. They're very transitional and not just straight up winter, because they do have some words and phrases that really just kind of highlight that transition time. And there you can see I pulled out some leafy pieces, and I just thought they would be nice. It'd be just kind of delicate and maybe a little unusual. But I left one to be on top of the photo, and then the other one, I decided to put that one underneath the photos just to do something a little different. I've also put some strands of sisal underneath my photos. That I did that off camera, but they provided just a little bit of texture, which I like on my page a lot. So there, I'm just really trying to wrap up all those silly snowflakes. In the end, I'm really happy with it, and I did end up gifting this layout to my granddaughter for Christmas, with the caveat that she couldn't show it on social media until after the My Creative Scrapbook reveal. Anyway, I'll put information below about how you can order a kit. All the information will be there that you need, and I certainly appreciate you stopping by today. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I appreciate you guys so much. Here's some close-ups for you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.